Oh, good morning there. Hopefully, everyone's having a great week. And I've decided to come to the airwaves of YouTube because some needs to be talked about from my perspective. And I'm going to warn you, I'm going to be harsh. Get rid of that cough drop. For some time now, it started off and on. And for the better of the last year and a half, I have considered Global Vision Bible Church, where Greg Locke is a so called pastor, my church home, even though I'm in Northern Illinois and they're down in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. That is no more. And I've got a lot of legit reasons why. Let's start with myself and then we'll move on. I was in their group on Facebook, being able to share concerns and keep up to date with things. And after about a week long argument, not even a debate, an argument with their so called men's leader, Danny Bean, about the fact that he thinks it's okay to have a beer or smoke a cigar, and I don't, he took it upon himself to kick me out and ban me from their group. I see why Greg Locke is banned from Mount Juliet or Hip Mount Juliet, Tennessee group because they probably did the same thing, except they did the right thing. I'm even in that group. I was in it to spy, and now I'll join forces with those that are against this church. No, let me rephrase it: cult. Cult. At the same time, the two moderators or admins, whatever you want to call them, for the group, Casey and Justin, unfriended me. And it's because I was talking to them about the fact that Greg Locke seems to like to, I don't know if you want to call it diss or knock, but, it's this current thing with him and the Democrat Party. And granted, there is a lot of evil in that Democrat Party, but you don't shun them from your church, you lead them to the cross. And the same way goes for the LGBT community, which, yeah, I disagree with, but you don't shun them from a church. You don't shun somebody that is for abortion from a church. You lead them to the cross and teach them the truth. And I promise you, they will learn. But if you're going to bash and diss, mm-mm. Greg Locke, I'm shocked your church hasn't collapsed yet. But it will. It will one day. Dwayne on Wednesday night with your so called debate proved a lot of things. And I think the attendance is going to start to drop. Considering Danny Bean and his crap, yeah, I said crap, I could say worse. He can go have a beer. He can go have a stogie or whatever the cigars are called. But if that is what you believe, then you need to step down as men's pastor or family pastor because both are anti Bible. Moving on, Pastor Greg is divorced. If I have read the documents right that I've been able to find, his first wife he abused, and she has or had some mental issues, and he further abused her. I understand even hitting her or punching her. And then I believe, well, I'm not sure on this one. I am going to state that. But one of them filed for divorce, and I wouldn't doubt that it was her. And if it was her, good job, Melissa, because You don't need that. A man of God, my hind leg, as he puts it. Maybe a man of poop, but that's it. So he is, yes, he is married to Taisha Locke, or however you pronounce her name, as his second wife. Over in First or Second Timothy, and I didn't look it up before doing this. I'm winging this live. It talks about the qualifications of a pastor. One is being the pastor of one wife. He's no longer. I agree, Dwayne. He needs to step down. It also is talking about holding the household together. Hopefully, he's doing that. Being approved by people outside of the church? No. When I search TikTok and I search YouTube, there are probably more videos out there against him. And for a lot of these reasons, then there are videos of his church or him ranting. I think it's time for the circus to close. I think it's time for Greg Locke to step down, as it was brought up Wednesday night, rightfully so. I think Danny needs to find me on Facebook and consider an apology, along with Casey and Justin. You know, to get unfriended from two people that I've even talked to on the phone and prayed with, you know, that kind of smarts. Danny Bean brought up this thing about pruning me away. I'm not a bad branch on the tree, Danny Bean. You are. Just as bad as Greg in how you conduct yourself. I really think that I'm going to have to be careful with how I view church, and it won't be in person yet, if anymore. Because I had 7 or 8 churches here in the area want to destroy me and my family, and I'm just not having it. I am not having it. And I would go into why, but maybe that'll be another video, because it will point out where the church is literally tanking south today. I'm not saying every church, but a lot of them. I wish I had more to say, and I'm kind of in a fog right now. But I'm glad that we didn't take a trip down to Mount Juliet, Tennessee. I'm glad we didn't move down there, because they would have paid for us to get out of that area with how I was treated. Again. But this was through the lines of the internet. What do you say about that, Greg Locke, Danny Bean, Justin, and Casey? And yeah, I'm using names. They called out people in the Bible, and they called them by name. So am I. And I'm not a bit terrified to do it. I did it to the First Heavy Metal Church of Christ and their satanic leader. And I'm doing it here. And I will keep doing it until I take my last breath. I've seen too many posts where it says, let's quit being the heresy hunters. No, we need to be. People need to be called out as they need to. And if Greg Locke ain't gotten the hint that he needs to close down or step down, it's called self-righteous. Not only does he preach hate, he preaches hate, and he's not even supposed to be preaching politics, from what I understand. Yeah, it does belong in the church, but not at the extent that he does it, because, yeah, maybe Dems have some evil beliefs, but God can change them. And thankfully, God can change them, because I know Greg Locke can't. There might be a part 2 to this, because I'm really in a bind with this, and not in the means of I cannot put anything together. I've given you a lot of detail. But I don't want to get fleshly angry at this situation. I just want to put it out there. And Dwayne, if you're watching, you see this, you did a great job at the debate Wednesday night. It's too bad Greg Locke disrespected you after he said he wasn't gonna. So there's a lie right there. And I believe that you presented very professionally, unlike him. You opened your Bible, unlike Greg, and I commend you for that. I got a big Thompson Chain King James version, and I got you version, and it pays to open the Bible. And that's what I'm trying to be careful with this video, because I don't want to go out of the binds of the Bible. But what I do want to do is call out and show where you should not be going to Greg Locke's church, because he preaches hate. He shuns people. He's got a men's pastor that admitted to me that he's full of gluttony, and he is for drinking a beer and smoking a cigar. And he is disqualified because the Bible teaches against all of those. And yes, we all fight with gluttony, but not all of us are leadership in a church. In this case, a cult. I'm going to wrap up with this, and this is a message to the audience. Do not go to Greg Locke's church. If you do, do not get kicked out. If you are wanting to challenge him, do it on the side. Don't embarrass yourself by getting kicked out. He will do it. If you say something like I witnessed here about a week ago that he doesn't like, he will get his security. And his adopted son is one of them, Hudson Locke, and they will kick you out. But I wouldn't disagree that you should challenge him, because those of us that are against them need to somehow get the party together that are against them and get them shut down until he steps down, repents to his ex-wife, and makes things right. I'm going to wrap up here. It's early morning. I'm still, after a couple hours, trying to wake up. Comments are welcome below. I will talk with you if you got a question or whatever. But after what they've done to me, I will admit with many, probably millions of other people, wolf in sheep's clothing, to a cult that meets in a circus tent. God bless everyone, and have a great Friday, have a great weekend, and make sure to worship the Lord this Sunday.